Still using the Getting Started model, we will now see how we can visualize modeling data. First, we need to understand that the transformations that each component executes actually live in the River calculation engine, which is separate from Excel. To achieve this, the model's input data is sent to the engine, which returns calculation results. This allows a far better performance than Excel, especially on large data and complex models. We'll see now how you can access data easily thanks to the full Excel integration. There's 3 different types of data visualization, all of them accessed by clicking the data icon. The first one is data inputs that come from Excel and are sent to the River engine, in which case clicking this icon brings me to the corresponding Excel table. The second one is data that is processed by the River engine. We cannot change this data, but we can visualize it easily. When I clicked on this icon, it created a temporary Excel sheet that has the name and ID of the component, where I can explore the data, the inputs and the outputs. I can filter the data using the usual Excel controls, but we cannot modify it. If I click on another component, that temporary sheet disappears and is replaced by a new one, which has the 2 inputs and the output for that component. If I want to get a copy of the data that I can modify, I can also right-click the data icon, which opens a new workbook where I can change the data, for instance, to perform quick checks. The third type of data is data that is exported to Excel. This happens in the Excel output component. Clicking on the icon brings me to the Excel table. The only difference with the one before is that it's not temporary, but other than that, it's also kept up to date with model data. Now you've seen that every time I click the component, the data is automatically displayed. You can disable that behavior by unticking this box here in the toolbar, which means that every time I click on a component, the data is not shown. I need to click on the data icon to show it. The last thing is, if you only want to see a list of columns and not the full data, you can also click on the connection itself and it will show you a list of columns here in the pop.